Welcome back to the Heroes Global Championship in NA. Team 8 is 2 games up over B-Step. B-Step have 1 game in the series. And I'll be honest, that's not what I was expecting to see.
I don't think anybody would go into that series and be like, well, you know, I think that B-Step's probably going to be struggling here with how amazing of the players and the history behind this roster, and then knowing that, you know, that core group is moved on and got rid of, again, Prismaticism and Glarung from the roster. I don't think anybody looked at the duo of Glarung and Prismaticism and goes, you know what, they're going to make the huge comeback here. And it's been pretty impressive so far. It's a weird line of like, was that, you know, is that them stepping up, or is that B-Step, you know, kind of the slow downfall that we've seen coming out from them? But I honestly think that Team 8's going to take this series. B-Step has not impressed.
No, it's so weird to see, but this early game consistently has been such a problem for B-Step. We're going to have our draft very soon. We'll also know the Battleground. Before we do that, we got a tweet for you. Thank you so much for talking to us using the hashtag HGC. It's from Focused Hots. Wanted to make sure to say that right. Sorry if not. Tuned into HGC for the first time. Have to say I'm a fan of B-Step. Incredibly fun to watch and insane playmaking. And yes, they have, on paper, so many playmaking players. K1 Pro, there's so many things to say about him, right? McIntyre, too. King Caffeine, as a warrior, he will 1v4 people and come out on top. All of them have the potential. So what's the holdup?
I mean, the real answer to that, obviously, I don't have, but my first thought is definitely, so looking at their history, they've never played in a unit, like in a team where they've had an official shot caller. Never has that been the case. They've always had a different assortment of somebody would be a little bit more talkative than the rest, but overall, everybody kind of, you know, gives a little bit input here and there, and they've never had that final voice. The first person to kind of step away from that was Fan, then later we had Dunk Train, and I think it's just been that every single iteration of those extra players coming into, either, I don't know if the respect isn't there in terms of their communication or the voice,
sure,
or if I just think a lot of it comes down to nobody is the final say, and it's slowly showing that it can backfire, I guess.
Well, now B-Step are 1 game away from losing this series. We'll see where they choose to go. If it is their Battleground choice, being the loser of the last game, they can either choose to have first pick or the Battleground choice. For them, it has been Battleground choice for them before. Cursed Hollow was the first map we went to, and then after that, Battlefield of Eternity and Tomb of the Spider Queen. And sticking with what they have done before, B-Step are going to Sky Temple, which they chose versus Gale Force Esports and lost the game last night.
Yeah, and historically they are such a successful team on Sky Temple. The thing that really stands out to me is that they're still choosing the map, which means they don't think it's a draft problem. They genuinely think that it's just like, well, that's not really our map, even though it's been their choice. They don't think that it's going to be a draft problem. So if it going into a third time that we see them going for the map, I think that we're going to see a major step in a different direction when it comes to, you know, the prioritization of heroes.
Let's recap what happened versus Gale Force Esports on Sky Temple because it's important for history.
Yeah.
They went into Sky Temple and they were behind again, the objectives, every single objective phase. But then they started to get ahead, and then they went for a boss play that ended up being a huge risk, got taken away from them by Gale Force Esports, and lost them the game.
Yeah, it was a very tragic moment there, a game that you never really knew if they're going to have a chance to take it back, and the second they did, it instantly slipped from their grip here. But Team 8 with the Tassadar ban. B-Step, is it going to be the Artanis? Is it going to be Ragnaros? Is it going to be Malfurion ban? Could be any of those 3. Ragnaros has been something that's difficult for them to be able to deal with, and their Artanis hasn't necessarily been the most successful of heroes. And they're probably the highest drafted number, at least on Artanis itself.
Yeah, they have a lot of Artanis picks. One thing they also were picking a lot was Varian, although we haven't seen any so far this series. They banned Artanis last night versus Gale Force Esports when in this exact same position of second pick. They're considering, I know that they have to be thinking, what does Glau want to play here? With
Tassadar removed, I think it's got to be Medivh, right? When
I agree.
A lot of the heroes that he's going to be playing, it's either that or Zeratul. It's that. Yeah, it could be Ragnaros. That's a good point too. It could be Ragnaros. It could be the Zeratul. It could be the Medivh. Medivh's the removal. I agree with you in the sense that I think banning the Ragnaros would have been probably better there. I expect Team 8 to insta-lock the Ragnaros again. Not surprising.
So Artanis here, Malf Artanis again?
I don't want to see the Artanis. I feel like we're going to, but I really hope that they don't. I think if they do pick the Artanis, or if they pick Artanis, I actually don't see them picking Malf. I genuinely feel like they don't, even though Malf objectively is considered one of the highest prioritized, and they have shown it, I think that on Sky Temple, I do expect them to step away from it. Last time we saw them go with the Brightwing, I just feel like I can see them using that as, like, you know, they don't feel like the Malfurion is as impactful in the last game. Like I said, you know, they've picked the map over 3 times in a row now, right?
Yes.
They have to make a change somewhere, and I feel like Malfurion is going to be the first step, that they're going to just drop that, and they're going to look at something else, and it's probably going to be a Brightwing.
You think it'll still then be something like Brightwing Artanis, or maybe will they leave support until later on?
Yeah, it could. They could wait.
Yeah, Gale Force focused on supports in one of the game, banning them down to put APM on Karzim, and Karzim, APM did just fine on Karzim. So if they want other things, like Tychus Artanis, they could do that.
I would have preferred to see the Li Ming over the Tychus. I think it's a high-impact hero for K1 Pro. It's one of her better maps as well. That's what I would have liked to see, but Tychus is very, very powerful. Again, we brought it up in the earlier drafts here in this series, is that North America has a big old question mark on where he belongs, and for now it's going to be towards the top of this draft. Malfurion now locked in for Team 8, and the next pick, is it going to be the Diablo? No, it's going to be the Zarya instead. So, a very heavy, just melee. It seems like Team 8 seems to be drafting, you know, a less North American than a lot of the other teams, I feel like, right now. They are so heavy focused onto just having those beefy frontliners, having the shields, beefy cakes, and then they also the major difference is not just the warriors. They don't just focus on warriors. They focus, or melees in general. They focus on survivability.
Right.
It's the Medivh, it's the Tassadar, and it's the Zarya. Those are the heroes that they have put to kind of the front part of their draft more than any other team, and I think it's showing with their success.
Maybe it is that although B-Step has felt like they're the ones who would figure out the NA meta and what NA does better than everybody. Maybe it's Team 8 that has it figured out even more.
How dare you? I mean, you know, like they're trying to set their own path, and then you're going to suggest that the beefy front lines that we see played everywhere else in the world is going to be the more dominant strategy? How dare you suggest that? Vala is going to be the ban out here for B-Step. What are you going to ban if you're going to be Team 8, though?
Very
Diablo?
quick
Well,
Diablo.
I'm sorry I asked the question there. All right, so now B-Step in their next 2 picks. They still have the opportunity to pick the support. I expect that, again, to be a little bit patient and hover whatever unique thing they want as their last pick. But
is that indicative of the fact that teammates about to solo Zarya tank, like Gale Force did? Pick Zarya, ban Diablo, feel like that's B-Step saying K will take ETC because he's global, or maybe Muradin?
It might be. It might be taking a page out of it. GFE, you said, was the one who ran it, right?
Gale Force did it yesterday.
Yeah.
They did Zarya, Tass, Vala, Rhaegar. Or no, they had Muradin. They did it somewhere, though, I'm almost certain.
Either way, though, B-Step is in a position here where they need a backliner, or they don't even need to at this point. They need something to aid Artanis. He can't be by himself. He needs somebody to be up there skirmishing. I'm going to put out a weird one, like even like a new Barak, like somebody who can just put out a raw DPS, be a multi-threat onto the front line. Arthas, I'm going a little bit, Europe on that one, but Falstad and Leoric are going to be the choices here. Leo Artanis duo in the front. Again, not too heavy of a synergy, something I typically don't enjoy seeing when Leoric's picked up, but Calf is great at the hero.
He is, and has been for a long time. Team 8 have 2 picks left. Here's where we see if Justin plays Zarya, or if they'll have somebody else playing Zarya, and for certain the last thing should be some sort of ranged, consistent damage. I would think, at least. Things that are still up, Vala is gone. Li Ming is still available. It's so interesting to see the win rates of heroes just in the past couple of days for ones that have been picked a lot. Tychus was one of them. He was picked all over the place between the beginning to the end, but at the end of yesterday...
Prepare yourself, guys. for what you're about to say. This is ridiculous. This is
He had only won 1 of the 10 games had been picked in.
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10 by the end of yesterday.
Do you guys realize how ridiculous that is for a dude who's been running stats and heroes in a long time? I have never seen a hero be so picked competitively and have such a bad start. Like outside of like, well, you played 3 games as Lily and it didn't work out that well.
I even didn't believe my own spreadsheet. I went through and counted the games.
Yeah,
because I couldn't believe it.
He's not doing too hot. Rhaegar, the final pick here. I do like the Li Ming on the side of teammate. They are not going to be running that solo that you were kind of questioning before.
Right.
Again, another triple melee composition here on the side of teammate. B-Step running a duo front line with a duo back line. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts seeing the draft? Did you feel suddenly that B-Step suddenly has the upper hand, that they're going to come out of nowhere here? Or is it just another Artanis game and things kind of flop?
I want to see them contest temples.
Yeah.
Please contest temples.
Battle.
Okay. Fight it out. Let's go. No more of the passivity in the early game. Please, let's see it. What about you? I'm frustrated.
I am frustrated as well. I agree. It's much like we've seen Galeforce struggle from that in the past as well when trying to find themselves after the adjustment with Fan. Like teams finding who they are as their rosters come together and making the efficient decisions sometimes is a bit of a struggle, and it is frustrating to see. But I don't look at that draft as suddenly I'm like, well, things were changed, right? And it's just kind of the same pattern here. It feels like today so far.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating, I think, because of the players on the team. We know the potential. We know the potential. They have 3 people who won BlizzCon 2 years ago. So the potential is there. It's just like, it's time. Actually, yesterday was time, but it's time now. It's definitely time now.
It's never too late, really.
No, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I very much agree. But just looking at the draft that we see out of the side of teammate, it's a rinse and repeat of what they've been prioritizing when it comes to heroes, when it comes to just overall playstyle, and it's not like we see too major of an adjustment on the side of B-Step to be like, well, at least we get to see a different composition. We haven't seen Leoric against them yet. We have. We've already seen Artanis too. The only major difference is that Tychus got busted out when we see a secondary Falstad. But I don't think that really – I don't look at – again, B-Step's not the team that goes, well, at least you have the globals out macro. They're going to be really good at just buying time, getting experience elsewhere. That's not their strengths here. So,
and even if the team fight gets brought to teammate, they have a good team fighting composition too.
Yeah. They
have good synergy between ETC and Malfurion. So let's see how it works. Is this it? Is this the game that takes us to game number 5? Can B-Step bring it back, or will Team 8 take it home? Never mind, we had a player disconnect, so we can talk about it just a little bit more.
Picnic the DC. I don't really have much else to say, to be honest. I've seen B-Step make the trend. They've established what their playstyle, their thought process is within the best of 5 that we were able to see them against Galeforce Esports. There were a couple of problems. They don't seem to be adjusted today. There's a couple problems when it comes to draft, I think, and there was no major difference. And the biggest sign for me of just kind of struggle or maybe even turmoil is just the choosing the map for 3 times in a row after the last 2 were unsuccessful shows the thought process. I instantly after the second one would be like, all right, guys, it's obviously not a map problem. Like, we have something wrong in our philosophy right now in draft, and they did almost nothing different really compared to some of the other games. So
let's consider the composition though of B-Step, because when you really look at Leoric plus Tychus, even Artanis potentially at 16 have tank busting capabilities where they could just try to blow up ETC. Maybe Zarya, once personal barrier is down, try to bait that out and then take her down. They've got some potentials there, yes?
Yes. It's not that it's so lopsided that there's no hope, right? Like,
right.
The compositions are reasonably well-rounded. They don't have any over-excelling things to the map objective itself. It's just, I've seen this already happening. Why should I expect it to be any different unless there was a major change?
Well, let's hope that changes there. Guys, we're going to take a short break. Thank you for our patience. And when we return, game number 4 between B-Step and Teammate.
We came to this world as exiles and outcasts. But together, we can be more. A weapon to break the chains of oppression. A bastion for the hunted. lost. A family bound by blood and honor. And if our enemies do not give us peace, we will give them war! Victory or death! This I pledge as your war chief. Until the end of days, I live and die. For the Horde! Fresh meat.
We are back and ready for game number 4 between Team 8 and B-Step. So without any further delay, let's get right into the game. It's going to be on Sky Temple. Okay, here we go. Sky Temple in the blue. The members of Team 8. Justing's playing ETC. Buds is on Malfurion. Yoda playing Zarya Glaurung on Li Ming. And Prismaticism playing Ragnaros.
Glaurung on Li Ming.
Not something I expected to say.
And on the red side is going to be B-Step here. We're going to have King Caffeine playing the Leoric. K1 Pro playing Falstad. Tychus being played by McIntyre. APM on Rhaegar. And Artanis is going to be played by Idri. I'm just going to say it right now, I've never expected an era where in the top 8 of North America we would have such lack of definition within roles. Like, the fact that we see Glaurung is going to be playing, like, Li Ming, the fact that McIntyre is going to be playing onto the Tychus, we have this constant adjustment, and they're not the only teams that are doing this, right? It's a
Gale Force
lot.
Esports, hello?
Yeah, it's just, I never would have guessed that to happen.
I had no idea too, especially since you look at last year and roles were so defined, especially in other regions too, right? Like Korea was very rigid with all of their roles for the most part.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see if that, is a positive or a negative thing as HGC North America moves on. But we are here on Sky Temple, Team 8 being up 1 map. And things got ugly yesterday for B-Step on this map, and a lot of what you brought up earlier, kind of talking about how it played out, was just B-Step was just constantly giving up the map objective and just split pushing elsewhere, and then until it got to one fight, they managed to win, and then one risky boss proceeded to lose.
B-Step, I think, are pulling out a secret strategy here in this game. We see double seasoned marksmen on Artanis and Falstad. I really think this is going to be a Bloodlust comp.
It's going to be the Lust. All right, well, having Bloodlust with a flank and tomb, play here for B-Step. We'll see how it works out as B-Step has made the transition to the top lane, heavy focus onto it. Falstad is securing a couple of shots in the mid, but we do see ETC will try and deter that on the side of Teammate.
B-Step's focus on Sky Temple, at least in the last year, has always been in the top lane, trying to get this so that they can start to work down the top fort, getting bruisers, making sure they push on the fort, and hopefully getting an experience advantage off of it as they go into the second temple phase. Teammate, and frankly, pretty much everybody knows that that's the strategy that they try to use, but with ETC pressuring Falstad in the mid, it looks like B-Step will be able to get the rest of the temple, especially with the rest of Team 8, moving back off of it.
Yeah, and I love the iteration of just having Ragnaros kind of represent, again, like Azul, clearing out the waves, making the rotations, while the rest of your team can skirmish. That is an underestimated resource there. Just the strength that you know you're getting soaked into lanes while you can commit a large portion of your team to a certain area of the map.
Plus, he's trying to stack. He's got both of the stacking quests at level 1 and level 4 nearly already done with Sulfurous Hungers, just being able to go between and get both of the waves in the mid and the bottom. And once he gets that done, just needs to worry about getting regeneration globes for catching fire, so that if he gets into trouble, he has an activatable armor.
Other than that, the seasoned marksmen are obviously not anywhere near their ability to be able to be completed. The only quests available right now are pretty close to completing is in fact going to be Ragnaros Q. This rotation though from Team 8 to the bottom half of the map, and now Ragnaros is doing the opposite. He's going through mid into top, mid into top. That's what they want to do. B-Step has to respond with Falstad, and it's the best wave clear that they possibly have to respond to Prismaticism. I do love this choice coming out from Team 8 throughout this entire series. B-Step
has the top fort of Team 8 down pretty low, so once they start thinking about mercenary camps, we could see them heading, Rhaegar even starting to head to their bruiser so they can try to take it down. But the experience is dead even between both of the teams. Just about level 7 here for B-Step. Teammates already picked it up, and talents for both teams.
There is one huge benefit with having the Ragnaros going around getting the clear that he's been able to do. The Falstad going with Seasoned Markman build will help him not only if they do move into the Bloodlust, but more than anything, he's really good as a response because you're getting double the waves to be able to soak up. It's pretty easy to clear, and as your attack damage scales, getting the clear isn't that bad. And since he's answering to the Ragnaros, you're never going to get any Gathering Storm stacks. It's just, it's a kind of double value here for K1 Pro in that level 1 talent.
Malfurion did not choose Cleanse. Malfurion has Mule. No cleanse for swaps. Other than that, though, what else would you really need it for, I guess?
Yeah, the swap would be the only, or just the slows coming out from them. Tiger's Grenade maybe for the interrupt, so that means they're not going Mosh Pit already. That would be the main reason I would want it, is to be able to stop any channeled heroic on my team. So if they move into the Mosh Pit, that would be a very strange choice here. But Sky Temple Mule can gain absolute value here, especially with the Ragnaros going in, rotating, getting the clear that we see from Team 8.
Falstad versus Ragnaros in top. Falstad can always fly down. Ragnaros cannot. Swap hits Justing. He takes about half of his health bar and damage, but is being healed back up by Buds. All of the members of B-Step had to leave the temple. They didn't want Falstad. Falstad couldn't either come back right away or had to go back and get healed back up. Now B-Step are re-engaging into the point.
Falstad is making the flight down though, so K1 Pro is behind enemy lines for now. He does reveal himself. Justin is in a bad spot. Confirms the kill there with iDream. Ragnaros still soaking the top and mid lanes, but the rest of these shots should be falling over to B-Step unless a big mistake happens on their part.
How much will that get done to? Will it take out the fort? Because there is still Mule.
Yeah, there's no way it can't confirm the fort. You have to take out like at least a turret for it to be able to do so, and there was not near the amount of damage done, so that will be able to be healed up here by the Mule. And for those of you who don't know, actually the mechanic on the Mule is you have to wait for the shots to be done, because otherwise if you're muling a structure as the shots come in and it blows up, it just goes ahead and kills your Mule, and it's not a fun time. You're like, don't worry, I'll heal this up as the shots are coming in, and it says, nah, you're going to struggle there. We don't see the level 10 coming in for ETC yet. Again, without the cleanse, I didn't expect Mosh Pit, but he does confirm it is going to be the Mosh Pit, so we'll see if that punishes them. Oh my goodness, speaking of Mosh Pit.
Surely will! Twilight Dream, Sulfurious Smash, Mosh Pit! 2 taken out. King Caffeine walks away with the smallest sliver of health you would ever see on Leoric. That escalated quickly.
I don't even really have words. I mean, I guess we can soon here we'll get another look at that, but I don't even know what happened. I was just looking. I was like, oh, he took it. Here, we're going to take a look. I just saw he picked up the mosh pit. And I was like, all right, so what's happening? So everybody was just getting the clear there. He comes in for the power slide, manages to hit it 3, just completely wiped Cap. Barely is going to be able to survive there, but that was not what I expected, I guess. I didn't think the mosh pit was going to come in without the cleanse.
Yeah, an expulsion zone, all of it together at once was a big surprise, it seems, to B-Step, too. By the way, B-Step did not get Bloodlust, which I was expecting from them.
And then we went with Artanis, actually, still making the same adjustment. They're going into this Purifier Beam. I don't know anymore. I guess I just don't know. Everything I have learned about this video game now at the start of HGC North America has pretty much just gotten removed. iDream actually missing his swap there. That's going to force the cleanse out of APM. Good Ancestral will be able to keep him up. And Glarong just eating damage there from K1 Pro into the backline. Looks like B-Step might be able to turn this.
King Caffeine went in with Wraith Walk to try to get back. And again, Gust pushes all of the members of Teammate into a wall. And Teammate are getting very low. Nice swap. Make sure that they get a kill on Malfurion. But just as quickly, Leoric drops, and so does Artanis. Team A are still ahead in kills. At least they were. K1 Pro flanks, once again, as always, are able to get another kill for the team.
Shout out to K1 Pro. That Gus actually interrupted Twilight Dream's animation, which put it on a 10-second cooldown, which means when Artanis goes ahead and gives the swap, your entire team is not going to be silenced, and he might have the opportunity to survive. Very well done. For those who don't know, in the past, K1 Pro pretty much single-handedly really made Falstad a thing in the North American scene. He's very well known for that hero, and it's kind of a treat. You know, I haven't gotten to see him play it for a very long time here, but already showing some pretty big plays. You know, the flank, getting a lot of damage, and then a beautiful Gust.
It was smart timing for B-Step to want to go for the fight too. Mosh Pit was still on cooldown. Everyone from Teammate was fairly low, so they could get right back in and get the kills they needed to get caught up in experience, especially because Teammate were so close to 13. Now, Temples have shown once again. B-Step moving around. Here comes K1 Pro. He's off to the side. Yeah. So is King Caffeine. They have their heroics. They could use them. Yeah,
there goes the Entomb the Gus on top of it as well. And Yoda by himself is not maybe the target you want. Justin eating a lot of damage there from McIntyre. Tyke is good against those warriors, but that's going to use the Purifier Beam as well. That was an engagement that B-Step wanted for some time. King Caffeine even rotated all the way top to tap well beforehand, but now he's going to be caught out here, probably going to be going down. His expulsion zone splits the seam. Dragon Laser is going to be just removed as Wraith Walk doesn't get Calf out of there. So sloppy engage there, and B-Step ends up falling behind.
The Entomb on Yoda as Zarya, and the focus, especially with Purifier Beam, just basically said, here Zarya, do you want a full energy bar? Why, yes, thank you, I would take that. It was just like as the beam was on, it just slowly charged up to full, and Leoric was the only casualty in that fight.
As a matter of fact, I would enjoy high energy.
Thank you. How nice, indeed.
Well, I just imagine Zarya here with a cup of tea and her like pinky finger up, and she's just sitting there like, actually, I would enjoy that. Thank you.
Quite.
Oh man, all posh and everything, but either way.
I don't think Zarya is the definition of posh.
No,
maybe.
She throws down. I don't know. I don't know much about her lore, but I know that, you know, she's got those tough guns, and those scare me. Either way, B-Step here is forfeiting another shot, and it's very much the tale that we saw them against Scaleforce Esports really here. And mid is going to actually be saved by that Molten Core play.
Oh, this is frustrating. Did he save it? Actually save it. So Mule, once they come out of this?
Wait. I think he did.
Prismat? Prismat, please?
Never mind.
Nope.
Rip in pieces.
That's nice. That would be infuriating.
Yeah, that would not be fun there. And the Mule has gotten a bit of value into this game. We haven't seen a moment where cleanse was absolutely necessary. A lot of that comes down to the fact that Mosh Pit, the only time it's really come out was a beautiful 3-man. So 16 now going to be picked up, and with the structure advantage here, with 2 forts up on the side of Teammate, Teammate does not have a care in the world with this lead that they have. They're going to pick up the 16. The map objective is actually going to be spawning a little bit before B-Step manages to be able to get 16 themselves. So really, all you're looking to do is maybe get a pick here and there if your opponents make the mistake, but in the long run, it's really just going to be trading shots and making sure you don't make any huge mistakes, you know?
Ross is also up in 13 seconds-ish, so with 13, there's a lot of opportunities for Team 8. It's just what they want to use these 16 talents to do. They could push, they could rotate down to the boss. It's a little scary, though, versus Gust. That's always something that you have to keep in mind when you're up against, but they do have Mosh Pit, Twilight Dream, maybe just be able to stall people out. Expulsion Zone is the big one for Team 8 to control that point once the boss goes down.
Oh, how B-Step here? I'm just trying to figure out if they're ever going to be able to take a fight that they really want. Like the Entomb onto Zarya obviously was not necessarily the best engage, but what is the most optimal engage? Are you going to be looking for, you know, ETC Malfurion? Li Ming can just blink over. Is it Ragnaros? I just don't know quite yet, but we do see Calf is down here with Prismatism. He is scouted out. The boss was started. He's going to solo Entomb. Nobody's there. What?
Nobody's here to help at all. Gust is too late to come out. Like, the Entomb Gust is the play. Here comes Justin, goes down with the Mosh, gets gusted out right away. B-Step turns around, takes out ETC, can try to continue into the fight. A few of the members of B-Step are low.
Purifier Beam coming out as well onto Prismaticism. Titan Grenade is not going to be able to confirm that one. I'm not kidding when I say everything I know about Heroes of the Storm is just broken so far at the beginning of this. Like, I watched King Caffeine walk up solo Entomb Prismaticism. Then the fight started, and then somehow in the end, even being down the flight in the mid-tier engagement, teammate gets teammate ends up losing the hero, and now B-Step suddenly has a minor advantage. Like, hello?
Team?
I don't know. I just all rules out the window.
B-Step finally takes a temple and has a healthy amount of the shots from it. Team 8, though, have everyone back online, and Sulfurous Smash will be available soon. Mosh Pit, though, will not. So they may be playing a little bit more hesitant because of that. K1 Pro flanks from the side again. Gust is ready, so is Entomb. Once again, they could be looking for a Gust Entomb combination, and now both members are here to make it happen. Power Slide goes down on adjusting.
Oh, the Gust into the wall with a huge Entomb, but Expulsion Zone to get the split. That was so pretty coming out from B-Step, but their health bars are significantly lower. Cap is going to be falling here. Team 8.
That gives resets to Glaurung, but nobody else was there quite yet. K1 Pro wants to solo Glaurung, but is fairly low on mana. Needs to be careful. Hits by a particle grenade. There's still a temple available to Team 8.
That was so pretty. Cloud9 has been known for its wombo combos here. We do have that clip, but we're not going to be showing it yet, just purely on the fact that this shot's up here. It looks like it's going to be contested as Leoric's going to be spawning in a couple of seconds, but just that was so smooth and absolutely gorgeous there. B-Step just not able to really make anything happen with it, though. Entomb is back up. Same with Gust.
Calf. Be looking for the Entomb. They want Gust with it so that they can gust everyone else away from the target. That's starting to heal off of Yoda. Wraith walks back.
They do have the healing ward down that will help a bit over this long duration of sustain. Everybody dodging. Glaurung's missiles there over the wall. They do have Giants pressuring on the bottom lane too, but the keep is going to be falling. I think if these shots are confirmed, Wraith walk out, the Gust is going to be used.
That's half the wombo gone. Barely stands though, and there's no mule for B-Step to help out, whereas Team 8 finally lost all of their force, which has helped B-Step out significantly in experience, if nothing else. Boss possibility. This is... What's going on here? Oh, just gonna slow down the bruisers.
Gonna be able to confirm that keep as well. Max range there.
Nice.
It's don't know if that was worth the cooldown though. It is such a powerful tool and so long. That keep would have fallen just the. Okay. That keep would have fallen in the long run if just one minion wave kind of walks up there and gives it a slap. It would have gone down, but now that we do manage to have a smidge of downtime, let's take another look at that Gust into the Entomb play.
All right, break it down, Dread.
It's just, this is so pretty. Watch this. K1 Pro positions, and he's going to get the Gust, and then just the minute he's out there, just boom! Perfect lock in there. Granted, nobody's there, and honestly, all it does is get King Caffeine killed, but that synergy was pretty to watch.
The expulsion zone to keep everyone else from moving in to help out with the Leoric Entomb was good too from teammate. Unfortunately, Sulfurous Smash missed. That could have been a start of another great wombo for Team 8. But B-Step kind of came out, I don't know who came out on top of that. Team 8 is in the lead at least. We know that because they have 20 talent tier. This has been, frankly, a strange game.
Strange series, you know. All rules, again, are just continuously going out the window. 20 advantage for Team 8. So B-Step, what is the thought process going to be? It's going to be backing out Soak. Falset's working onto the top lane. I don't think they're going to be able to get that 20 tier until at least halfway, maybe 3/4 through the shot. So Falset is confirmed to be able to finish his season markman, though, so that will help a little bit in the attack world. But until you manage to pick up the 20, nobody's going to be risking this fight.
Artanis isn't far behind with his either, and he did pick up Titan Killer. So they are going for that tank destroyer style. Anybody who can get caught within an Entomb, even if it is Zarya, hopefully after the barriers, you can bring her down. But it gets harder now that 20's here because Zarya picked up Unyielding Defender, so she can always reset her shields and then get her second personal barrier. And she has Pain is Temporary, so there's so many shields on Zarya herself to get through. Maybe that's not the best target, but then you look at, okay, we'll get ETC caught in the Entomb instead, and that's fine if he's already used Power Slide, but if not, he has Crowd Server. He's just gonna Power Slide straight out of there.
It's just there is no target really here for B-Step to really be able to get onto outside of the Malfurion, who also has got bolts and ice block. So
and Submerge for Ragnaros.
All right, so then wait for Li Ming to get the teleport. Don't do enough damage to pop, you know, the illusionist, and then you'll be in a perfect scenario. That's not hard to do, right? To perfectly calculate that accurate amount of damage without confirming the kill on the target.
Cakewalk.
Easy. In my world, I like to call that freelo. This could be an Entomb. Yes, to choke it out there. We'll see if it really gets them anything, as 20's been picked up for both sides, but the laser instantly killed Gilly.
iDream's looking in, maybe for a swap. Gets hit by an orb. Cap gets hit by the Power Slide. Twilight Dream. There is a Tour Bus as well as Sulfurous Smash, but great Ancestral Heal keeps iDream alive. Unfortunately, this is not the healing for Falstad. King Caffeine is low too. Look at the health bars of teammate. They are just fine and chasing down everyone else from B-Step. A boss. Looks like it'll be the victory spoiled for B-Step, or for teammate.
Yeah, and there are no tools left on the side of B-Step to even contest that here. Leoric coming back might be something you have to concern, but I don't think he'll even make it in time. The boss is still kind of, you know, being dangled with here. iDream is looking for maybe a potential swap, but I don't think B-Step has what it takes here. This is, even with the Leoric, they're trying to buy the time, but in the end,
Expulsion Zone isn't up yet. It doesn't matter.
No, it's just
nobody can get on the point. There's only one keep left. There's no keep in bottom where this boss is going to go. Entomb stops some of the members of Teammate for now, but Teammate are going to wrap around and go straight after King Caffeine. iDream is there too. He is soloing Yoda, but Tychus is down. So is Li Ming. 1-for-1 on the damage, people, at least. The fight is happening now. That Power Slide was beautiful, adjusting the B-Steps to B-Step. And I think that spells the end of the series, Dread.
That is going to be GG here. Gus is the only thing up there, and Falset K1 Pro realizes it's over. He's going to be able to... I like the you know, at least they both mutual B-Step there at the very end.
Mannery mules abound.
If I told you Teammate was going to walk in here 3-1, and even the game where B-Step managed to win, it wasn't like, you know, an overly dominant fashion like that. We saw control swayed in both directions. Like, would you believe me?
No.
I would have just been like, nope, not today.
But I'm happy for those guys.
Yes.
Because we have members who have been in the scene for a long time. They have Yoda, who has shown up as a new person in the top 8 of North America. The synergy there, Glaurung is playing different kinds of heroes, playing Li Ming. We expected that the way this team wins is to just all in on Glaurung. Glaurung's going to Illidan comp, Tracer comp, and yes, he played Tracer once, but it's just solid play.
Yeah, I very much agree with you. It's very uncharacteristic of any roster that we've ever seen really kind of Glaurung compete on since the beginning of his career. And yes, he has had moments to be able to play those off roles at times, but it was in very small and niche scenarios. But now it seems to be his new norm, if you will. And to be able to take out a team with the names of B-Step is just absolutely brilliant play. I'm still kind of dumbfounded by it. Beyond the fact that all kind of rules went out the window, it's just still the fact that they were able to do that so convincingly. Like, yes, we had moments where B-Step had control of the games, but B-Step, again, failed to be able to initiate team fights, really, for the most part.
Let's talk about Prismaticism, too. Prismaticism has been on several rosters, has struggled, been kind of on and off in play, but showed great Ragnaros play here in this series. Other played too. We saw him play Nazebo yesterday as well, and it's great to see from all of them. Justin, personally, has been the one who really impressed me this weekend.
No, I agree. I completely agree. Justin is the major, like, if anybody outperformed themselves, it was him. With the mosh pits that he was able to pull into the last game, his positioning, his Diablo play has been insane. So he did very, very well.
Well, guys, we have Glaurung on the phone to congratulate and hear his thoughts on that series. Glaurung, congratulations. You guys just took out B-Step. How does it feel?
Pretty good. I had to make sure not to cuss. All right, we're good. Yeah, I feel good.
Walk us through that last game. What was the point where you guys knew that you had it and knew that you were going to be able to win that game?
Medivh fans gave us good drafts every single game. Like, banning, like forcing a respect ban in the first phase just gives you god comps. Like, Ragnaros is OP, and we got him like every game, I think. So, honestly, it was mostly the set came down to Prismat, I'd say. He played really well.
Were you, like, surprised at all on the fact that you were able to get Ragnaros every single game?
Absolutely. Like, I did not expect to get those drafts. Like, it's to the point where I can play heroes I'm uncomfortable on because we get such good drafts for it. Like, Li Ming, Vala, I haven't played those heroes too much, but it's nice being able to get god drafts.
What was the game plan when you guys came in after seeing B-Step play Gale Force Esports yesterday?
They looked really good. Honestly, I have a lot of respect for GFE, and the fact that they took them to Game 5 was insane. So I expected us to either lose in Game 5 or win in Game 5. I thought it was going to be a much closer set than it was.
Well, you guys played amazingly. Congratulations, Glau. Thank you for joining us for the interview.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys for the broadcast.
Man, that is one series down. It was a 3-1.
But what we got next?
Oh, I do believe.
It's the juicy drum.
The juicy drum, yes. The spicy rivalry between Gale Force Esports